Welcome back to Sportsbook Review Videos. It is week 13, which means that after this week, believe it or not, there will only be 4 weeks of the regular season remaining in the NFL, so we have to ramp back up our prop betting this week from Bet365. And for the player props, we kick this one off with Rashad Jennings, who has an over-under for rushing yards this week of 36.5. Now, it is the Battle of New York between the Jets and the Giants this week. It should be a very good game from the Meadowlands. However, the Giants' run to game has been pretty disappointing this season considering the amount of backs they have on the field. None of them really seem to get going. They always seem to use the wrong one at the wrong time, and even Orleans Darkwa has seen some rushing attempts over the last 5 or 6 weeks. So with a muddled backfield and going up against the best, if not one of the best, rushing defenses in the NFL, you have to think that Rashad Jennings likely not going to get the attempts this week like he did last week at only 6 carries and 14 yards. Before that, he had double-digit carries in 3 straight weeks. I don't think that's going to happen this week. The Jets will be without Darrelle Revis, and Marcus Williams' is backup is doubtful. So I think the Giants are going to throw the ball a ton this week. We'll get into that more here in just a little bit, but leads to the under here at 37 or 36.5 between for Rashad Jennings in this one. Matt Ryan is next up at 292.5 passing yards, and as he goes on the road this week to Tampa Bay, these two teams have a lot to play for in this game. The Falcons could jump back into the playoff picture if they win and the Seahawks lose this week on the road to the Vikings, and the Bucks could even jump into the playoff picture, being if they could improve to 6-6, and if the Seahawks also lose, that means they would own the tiebreaker over them because of their conference winning percentage. Obviously, if they win this week and beat the Falcons, could improve to 5-3 in the NFC. But with Devonta Freeman back, I think it's actually a play where you can go over here with Matt Ryan, even with Freeman back. On the road this season, Ryan is averaging about 300 passing yards per game, and with Freeman back in the fold, I think it's going to open some things up for these Falcon receivers as well. I really like the potential of Atlanta's one of the Atlanta guys to bust a long touchdown, potentially Julio Jones. So take the over at 292.5 passing yards for Ryan. I think he gets to 300 this week. Now, finally, Odell Beckham Jr. has an over-under for 92.5 receiving yards this week, and my favorite prop play of the week is going over with this. We've already talked about Revis Island being out. We've already talked about the Jets' run defense forcing the Giants to throw the ball as well. But on top of that, Beckham Jr. has just been a target monster over the last 4 weeks. Been targeted 56 times over the last 4 weeks. He's hauled in 30 of those for about 120, 121 receiving yards per game. And this season, the Jets have wide receivers have been targeted against the Jets a total of 278 times, which leads the NFL. If you have one of the leading target getters here for the Giants, going up against a team that is thrown on a lot to opposing wide receivers, especially with Revis out this week, go over 92.5 with Odell Beckham Jr. Go heavy. This one is probably my favorite prop bet of the week. Now, that'll do it for your player props. Make sure to check out the team props as well this week. But until then, for Sportsbook Review, I'm Jordan Sharp.